Seeing this post makes me incredibly emotional, and if you don't know why I'm emotional, it's not the fact that Black Lagoon is coming back from a hiatus, it's the fact that this pretty much gives us indication that Rei Hiroe, the author of Black Lagoon, is doing much better and he is in a better headspace. For those out of the loop and have no idea what I'm talking about, back in March of this year, if you type in Black Lagoon depression on Google, a quick Google search reveals what I'm talking about, and there's a bunch of articles and Reddit posts that discuss this, but basically, the Black Lagoon author opened up about their depression of 15 years, and basically kind of why Black Lagoon has just been on such a sporadic hiatus, constant breaks, and a lot of people were completely unaware that it was an ongoing series. Like, when this interview came out, which, you know, spawns from this right here, when this interview came out, a lot of people were unaware that Black Lagoon was still an ongoing manga. A lot of people thought that the series has been basically over for over 10 years. A lot of people assumed that with no new anime adaptation or anything like that, it was just over. That's what a lot of people assumed, and that really shocked me. A lot of people shocked me when I made my video back in March of this year on the topic. But getting to the point, basically, in that interview we got back in March of this year, it was revealed that the Black Lagoon creator was heavily depressed, and one of the biggest reasons to why he was depressed was because of his fan criticism, but because he prioritized his work over his own father's health. And this was a big one, and it was such an insane reveal that honestly, it choked me up. It made me very emotional. Basically, in this, you know, I'll scroll down to it, but he literally talks about how he commented on his father's failing health and repeated hospitalizations. But despite wanting to go and pay his respects, he prioritized his work, and his father eventually passed away. When my father died, I didn't think it had affected me that much mentally, but it seems the damage was much bigger than I expected. I felt the pain slowly building up afterward. However, I don't know if those were the direct causes of my depression. That is, the stress I built up from the Roberta's blood trail and my father's death. I think those are probably the causes in hindsight. So, to kind of give some clarification here, nobody knows exactly where depression starts. You can kind of assume it started here, but depression just eventually hits you. It's something that comes out of nowhere, and everybody deals with it in different ways. And in this case, it's very obvious just by the open nature here and the transparency from the author of Black Lagoon saying this. It's kind of obvious where his stress and depression came from. You know, with dealing with having to write a manga that was obviously incredibly popular, but also having real-life situations with your father that is having multiple health issues and eventually passes away. And you got to imagine in the headspace of Rei, they probably were like, I could have spent more time with my father. That's definitely what they probably have thought at least once or twice. Anyone, logically, would probably do that or think of something like that if they had a good relationship with their family member, any family member. So it was incredibly depressing reading this back in March of this year. However, at the end of this whole interview and him opening up, he basically comments that he will continue writing it, and this is what he was asked. When asked, do you want to finish Black Lagoon, Hiroe reportedly replied with force, of course. That's why I'm continuing. And this was the last thing he said in the interview when he was talking about, you know, Black Lagoon earlier this year. So, we fast forward to today, in June, and it is reported that Black Lagoon is coming back from a hiatus. Now, to clarify, there has been some sporadic chapters that have come out over the years, back in like 2023 and even in 2024, but very few chapters. But with the latest interview and him confronting his trauma, his depression, and everything head on and just opening up to the public, it definitely could feel like maybe some weight is off of his shoulders. That can definitely be therapeutic and helpful to a degree. And I wonder, with Rei coming back and wanting to, you know, write again for Black Lagoon, I'm going to assume that he's in a much better headspace. And so I'm legit, you know, I'm happy. I'm happy for Rei. I legit am happy for Rei being able to come back and write the series, because it's very clear that despite the many hardships and trials that, you know, the author has went through over the years for 15 plus years, they don't want to give up on their baby. They don't want to give up on their life work. They don't want to just call it quits, because they don't want to just do it for the fans, but they want to do it for themselves. And that was a big thing I pulled away from just the words, the interview that Rei had. But getting back into the topic, this is emotional because it showcases someone trying to be better, get healthier in the head, And that, I'm all for that. I'm very happy to see this. It's great news overall. Honestly, some of the best news I have covered this year in 2025, and I hope to see more stuff like this. I hope that, you know, Ray comes back with a vengeance and just straight up goes completely hard into Black Lagoon. We get some really good chapters, more consistency with releases if, obviously, his mental health allows it. But yeah, I'll leave it at that, though. I wanted to talk about this, give a little bit of a brief update on the situation, because I didn't expect this. A lot of people didn't expect this, but here we are. So yeah, for those that are Black Lagoon fans, expect a new chapter literally next month, and those that are not caught up, well, you have a lot of reading to do. And, you know, let's support this author. This author has put in a lot of hard work and dedication, and sacrificed a lot to be able to be here, so I do hope that there is a lot more people that jump on board to the Black Lagoon, you know, hype train in the coming days and weeks. But I love you guys. Be safe, stay healthy. Chibi out.